Max Sukkhasantikul from Frost Sullivan. Max, thank you very much for joining us today. This strike would be devastating, wouldn't it? The busiest bank holiday weekend, everybody coming home from holidays or going away for a quick weekend before the kids go back to school. Pretty disastrous if there was a strike.
It is going to be disastrous for the traveling public. There will be a lot of frustration from the traveling public, like similar situation as we saw with volcanic ash issue when all the European airports shut down. BAA would obviously suffer the most in terms of the impact. Losses for the damage, to sort of say, from this is expected to be at about approximately £7 million per day. So that would be the type of ballpark that BAA would be looking at, considering that they've already seen some difficulties with the volcanic ash, where they themselves lost about 40 to 50 million pounds off of that. And we're in a situation where the government has obviously placed a policy where there is no growth in aviation, sort of say, in Britain, which is a bit of a disappointment, considering that travel and tourism contributes about 140 billion pounds per year to the British economy. That's more than any other industry.
So you say that the government is this because they don't want to build the extra runway at Heathrow? They've decided that they don't want to increase
That's the policy, yes.
Yeah. Do you think this strike is likely to go ahead? I mean, we're hearing quite conciliatory messages coming out of Unite. Do you think that they will do a deal?
Well, from BAA's perspective, I strongly believe that they will try to resolve this, because they're already coming out of a situation where they're not in its most comfortable area. I mean, they've tried to sell off their non-core assets to diversify its risk, and then focus more on their core activities. And if their core activity is turning over amongst themselves, it's a bit of a difficult situation.
The airline industry as a whole has suffered. BA, for example, has taken a number of hits. This would be another damaging hit to its reputation, wouldn't it? Because Absolutely. It operates out of Heathrow. Even though there's nothing very much it can do about it, it still would affect the idea that these airlines just can't be trusted to go when they're supposed to go.
Absolutely. Well, if we looked at the situation of British Airways, a lot of the traveling public, especially with business traffic, they tend to choose other airlines as opposed to British Airways. This is a situation where particularly for the hub and spoke type of network, because London Heathrow specifically is one of the largest hubs in the world where passengers connect. Now, if they see that Britain is in a bit of a situation, they'll tend to choose other hubs to travel from. Even British Airways have tried to say that they're going to grow out of Madrid through their merger with Iberia.
Yes.
And that's the situation we're likely to see, where passengers will choose other airports as opposed to traveling to London.
We have seen no disruption across Europe. I mean, Lufthansa's had its own issues. Is it just that we're at a time in the cycle where particularly the national carriers really have to kind of revise the way they do business?
Absolutely. I mean, the full service or the national airlines, to sort of say, have been trying to reduce cost as much as they can. We've seen the volatility of the fuel prices, the whole environmental pressures, as well as competition from low-cost airlines, as well as airlines from other regions. And Europe right now is one of the regions that suffers the most financially compared to other regions for the airline industry.
Max Sukkhasantikul, thank you very much indeed.